Zealot here. Welcome to another video. Today we're doing another storytime video with the gameplay in the background. That's me playing Bait VR on my Oculus Quest in the background there. Well, this storytime I'm doing basically just from memory. It's been a long time since this has happened, but it's a story. It's an interesting story. So it all started like we went to this restaurant with like a bunch of our family, like grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody, like a lot of people were there, right? So we like reserved the table, and there's this big table, and it was about when we were gonna leave. Like we were almost done eating when I had to go to the bathroom, right? And it was a big table. My parents were on one end of the table. I was on another end of the table. And I'm like, well, I don't want to walk all the way over there to ask my parents, right? You know, I'm lazy like that. So I just go over and ask my uncle instead of like going all the way over to my parents. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I go to the bathroom. And when I come back out, I could not find my family anywhere. I couldn't find one of them. And we went there in two cars. We went there in my grandma's car and my parents' car, right? And my parents thought that I was in my grandma's car. My grandma thought I was with my parents in their car. So that resulted in me being left at the restaurant. Now, as like a 9, 10-year-old kid, I was not used to this. I'd never been lost that many other times before, and I was in the middle of a restaurant, pretty busy, at about like, lunchtime-ish. And I have no idea where any of my parents are, where any of my family members are. So that's the situation I'm in. So I don't know what to do. I'm panicking at this point. So I just like sit down and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? What's gonna happen? This was before I had a phone. And so I just kind of sit there, and it didn't even occur to me, oh, you should go ask somebody for help, like an employee. No, I didn't think of that. I'm not that smart. Like, are you crazy? Why would I ask somebody that can help me? But then I wasn't, like, completely hopeless, because I'm like, okay, they're probably most likely not going to leave me here on purpose, right? They like, they'll probably come back, right? They'll realize what's going on, right? And I was just sitting there and like looking all afraid and worried and not knowing what to do, and this random family that's like just sitting around enjoying their food like looks at me, and like they start talking to each other. I'm like, oh no, they're thinking stuff. And then one of them, like the guy, walks up to me. He's like, hey, are you looking for somebody? Is something wrong? I'm like, yeah, my parents accidentally left me. Yeah, that was one of the interesting things. Like I don't know. I was really dumb. So he asks if I'm looking for somebody. I'm like, yeah, my parents accidentally left me, and they're like, oh, well, that I'm so sorry. Here, let me help you, and I'll take you to an employee. I'm like, okay, sure, because I really didn't know what to do at this point. I was like really panicking. I'm like, okay, sure, and then he brings me over to an employee, and like an employee's like, he talks to employees like, yeah, I found this kid. He's just sitting there. He says his parents accidentally left him, and I'm like, yeah, like a bunch of my family was there. They probably just lost track, and I went to the bathroom and came back. They were gone. And the guy was really nice. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. This has to happen. And then he's like, oh, do you know what vehicle they were driving? I told him what vehicle they were driving, and then he went out to look while other employees, like I think one of them was the manager or something. I have no idea. There were these two other employees that were like helping me out and like asking me questions about like, do you know their phone number, blah blah blah. I didn't know their phone number at the time. That probably would have helped, but yeah. I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of like followed them. And the guy came back. He's like, yeah, I don't see any of those kind of cars out there. And I'm like, oh, that okay. And then this at this point I was like losing all hope. I'm like, oh no, they're never gonna come back for me. I'm a loner. I'm an orphan now. I gotta. I don't know what to do. And then they're like, okay, here, just come with us. And I'm like, okay. I really didn't know what to do at that point. So I'm like, just I was basically just doing whatever at this point. Like if they told me to go jump off a cliff, I'd be like, okay, because I was like so panicked and like just saying okay to basically anything that anybody says. And anyway, so they lead me in the back, and they lead me in the back, and they bring me to the kitchen. They like show like this is where we cook the food and stuff, and just trying to calm me down. And yeah, because yeah, my parents like were going all the way to a hotel that we were like staying at, and they were going to go all the way over there and have to come back for me. So it'd probably be a while. And then I was just walking around, and they're like, hey, what can we do for this kid? And the manager's like, hey, we have some ice cream, right? And, like, we have some leftover ice cream. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess we do. And I'm like, oh boy. Am I actually gonna get rewarded with ice cream for my own stupidity? So they like get a couple of scoops of like vanilla ice cream, and they're like, you're not allergic or anything, right? I'm like, no, I'm not. And then they're like, oh, we have a bunch of toppings. What you want on your ice cream? I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I don't need anything on my ice cream. And they're like, oh, come on. We got chocolate syrup. We got like caramel syrup. We got sprinkles. I'm like, I'm good. It's just like, well, you gotta have something on your ice cream. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a bit of everything. And then they all laughed, and they gave me my stuff on my ice cream, and it was kind of nice. So yeah, and they gave me a spoon and everything, and I sat down at a table and started eating the ice cream while they were there, waiting for my parents to see if they would come back. And after a while of me just eating my ice cream, my mom finally comes back, and she's like with my grandma and everything, and they were so sorry, and I'm like, oh no, it's okay. So yeah, I gave my mom a big hug, and I gave my grandma a big hug, and then I finished up my ice cream, and then I on the way, and I finished up my ice cream on the way back to the hotel again, and yeah, man, and with my parents' side of the story, apparently once they got there, they're like, wait, where's Seth? Oh, he's not in I thought he was with you. And they're like, no, I thought he was with you. And then yeah, when they told me this story, and they're like, oh yeah, we went like 90 miles an hour, and I didn't care if I got pulled over by a cop. I had to say that like my kid was in danger. I'm like, mom, I was fine. And yeah, I everybody was okay, and nothing really happened. It was just a really funny story, but at the time it was terrifying. Moral of the story: get lost at places as a kid and get free ice cream. 200 IQ. Anyway, that's about it for the story time. I probably missed like a lot more details, but I just can't think of them right now because it's been a long time. And yeah. Anyway, guys, that's about gonna do it for the video. If you want me to do more videos like this, please tell me in the comments. If the comments are even enabled, because if they're disabled, I can't really do anything about it. But if you're just here for the story time, you can click off now. But I'm just gonna discuss a few things that I'm kind of worried about right now for YouTube. So on YouTube, they're changing their kind of rules a little bit, because a government rules, COPPA, COPPA, is changing some laws around, and basically, there's so many more details than this, but I'll just basically give you a really basic rundown. So now on your videos and your channel, you have to choose: do you want your videos to only be for people under 13, like under the age of 13, or do you want your videos to be only for people above the age of 13. And for me, I am 13 years old. I have been since September 29th. And therefore I have the power to choose between the two. And I don't really know what to choose, to be honest, because I don't really care who watches my videos, and so I don't know, should I do it for people above or below the age of 13? Because I don't know. The thing is, a bunch of people in my school are like, hey, you should just do it for under the age of 13, because that, we're on, some of us and some of your viewers from school are under the age of 13. Okay, but the thing is, if I do it for people under the age of 13, if I ever get my videos monetized, I would be getting 90% less ad revenue. Nobody can search my video, nobody can like my video, nobody can comment on my video, and I don't know why they would say, why they think that's a good idea, but yeah, that's how they're handling it. Yeah, and the thing that really scares me is, this is the thing that's scaring everybody. It's so vague how they describe it. And if they're basically saying, if you say that your video, let's say that you say your video is kid friendly, but it really isn't, like you're swearing and stuff in it, boom, you're instantly hit with a fine of up to $40,000. That is a lot. That can ruin people's lives. $40,000 if you mess up on one click. Now that just seems unfair. So, if and the same thing vice versa. If I say that it's not kid friendly, but the FTC thinks it's kid friendly, or think that you're intending to target children as your viewers, slapped with the same fine. So yeah, this is bad. This is not what we need for YouTube right now, and it's worrying a lot of YouTubers. And I really don't know what to do. If you have any ideas, please put them in the comments. Like, please reach out to other people. Chadtronic and Dawko, just to name a couple that are already talking about this. The rules will be applied in like 2 months. They're still subject to change, but just don't just take my word for it and instantly go straight to the government and be like, hey, this is wrong, blah 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 blah. Just go watch Chadtronic's video. I'll leave a link in the description, and that video will explain everything. It's one of my favorite YouTubers, and yeah, this is not gonna be good for YouTube. Just saying, not gonna be good. Like, I don't really intend for my videos to be watched by, like, kids under the age of 13, and I don't really intend for them to be above the age of 13 either. I don't really care who watches my videos. I just show them to the world. And I don't think that COPPA understands that. They just think like, oh yeah, just make it only for this age or only for that age. Not thinking that, like, oh yeah, some people don't really care and don't have a preference for their age. Like, a bunch of people like Dawko and I don't have a preference, and a bunch of other people don't have a preference. And if I don't have a preference, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to decide between one or the other? You know? So, I'm not really too worried about the fine part, because who's gonna, like, see this one kid's YouTube channel with 30 subscribers and be like, yeah, that kid needs a fine? Like, I don't think that it's gonna be like that. I really hope that it's not gonna be like that, but it certainly could. I'm just really worried worried about, like, mostly about other YouTube channels. And it's really scary times here on YouTube. And like this weekend, I'm thinking, like a few days ago, I would have thought, hey, I wonder what I'm gonna upload this weekend that'll be creative and nice and fun to make, and it will get views and stuff. Now I'm thinking about is what am I gonna upload that won't get me fined $40,000? Just think about that. Me as a YouTuber, even like as a really, really not popular YouTuber, I am genuinely worried about my channel. That's how bad this is. Just think about that for a while. I'll see you guys in the next video. Zell it out.